Welcome back to Let's Get Real with Dani, a podcast where we talk about all the real stuff that you need to hear. And today we were joined with a special guest who is a physiotherapist, wellness coach, and clinical instructor with nearly 30 years of experience helping people move better, feel stronger, and just live a more connected life. And she's the founder of Rebalance Rehab, which is a multidisciplinary clinic and Pilates studio in Chilliwack, BC here. And she's known for blending evidence-based therapy and just practical lifestyle strategies, which is kind of what we dove into a lot today in terms of what can be practical for you and what does it look like to really tune into your own body and say, hey, like something feels off. I want to get curious and explore what could possibly help this, right? So her message today was really powerful, which is that movement is medicine, and you don't have to feel like where you're at is where you're stuck at, because until your last breath, you can make change in your body, which is so fantastic and just creates so much hope. And I hope this message brings some hope for you if you're dealing with any chronic pain or if you're struggling with movement. This is exactly what you need to hear to help you feel like you can take that step forward in making your body feel better, feel stronger, and just live that life that you want to live. So let's go talk to Nicole. Okay, hey Nicole. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm so excited to talk with you because, little backstory, we met at a women's retreat and I literally was listening to you talk and I was just like, I gotta get her on the podcast because people need to hear about this, and it's just so amazing the stuff that you do. So let's introduce everyone to you a little bit more. Like, why did you start your business, the Rebalance Rehab? Like, what was the spark for you for that?
Well, it's been a journey for sure, because I was became a physiotherapist in 1996, so it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And so, but back in Ontario, and even when I started working back then, I worked. It was really important to me to have low barrier access to rehab services. So I was doing a lot of in community work, although I worked at the hospital as well. And then when I moved out here in 1998, I'm kind of always been passionate about meeting people where they're at. So that's always been a driver for me in my work. And just always constant learning, because that's where, it's 2025 and we're still discovering all kinds of things about the body and how it works. And it's just amazing. I just think it's amazing. I've always thought it's amazing. So I think Rebalance Rehab was really a culmination of lots of passions that I was chasing over decades. One of them is about how powerful movement is. And so I wanted to have the little Pilates studio available for people, as well as the traditional multidisciplinary format. So we have, massage and kin and physio. We have acupuncture, like different services in addition to the movement, which I think is kind of like the bow that wraps everything together. So we still do a lot of work in community. Our team actually goes all the way from Boothroyd to Abbotsford.
Wow.
Helping people get better in their home. We go to them. Cool. And then we have the clinic where we can have people come in and access different services, and then have the Pilates studio there. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. And like the whole movement piece, right? Like I remember you saying something of like movement is medicine. And I was just like, yeah, like I've never heard it be put in such like it's like a simple term, but it's like so true that movement is the medicine for us. And like, where did that come from? Like, what makes you truly believe that that's the key to, is it longevity, life? Like, what makes you believe that that's really what we
I
need?
think, it's really evidence-based. Mm-hmm. If you look at the evidence out there, you look at studies in terms of like longevity, movement is the most powerful thing that you can do to impact your longevity. Not only how long you will be here,
Right.
but also the quality of the life that you will have. And again, like Rebalance Rehab, literally the tagline is helping people live their best life. So it's one thing to be, you know, here, but it's living well and doing the things that you love to do. And it's all evidence-based. If you look at, you know, Dr. Rhonda Patrick, she talks about it from a cellular level. You look at Dr. Peter Attia, I think that's how you pronounce his last name. He talks about, again, that like the functional impact. So if you look at it from a data perspective, like just from that point of view, from a function piece, it's the most important thing. But even if you look at things like, you know, I've done dysfunctional breath pattern training, you look at mental health now. We understand so much about that brain body connection, and we tend to think of them separately, but the impact of moving your body, the impact that has on your mind is I think we're just learning more and more about it. So from a mental health and a physical health perspective, I think it's the evidence is there. So it's not just like an opinion piece. It's like based on facts.
Yeah. And it's like, and it's cool to see, you know, how different stages of your life, how that can still impact you, right? It's not just like, oh, start when you're young and that's the most important thing. It's like, how many stages of life do you see come through your practice and how much it can still benefit them at any age?
So, and that kind of comes back to, so when you look at it from like stages of life perspective, it's important in every stage. You know, I worry about, you know, I have children who are 12 and 16. And, you know, I'm concerned about their posture and, you know, they're having growth spurts, and then you have stiffness, and then they're playing sports. Even sports these days is a little bit different for kids, like from when we grew up. It's can be very intense. And so, you know, moving in the right way and with the right intention is important. So you look at it from, you know, young, and then when you go all the way to the older adults. So I actually have 1 day a week in practice where my practice is primarily older adults. I spend a lot of time educating, and it's really, they come in and they are frightened. They come in with pain points and functional challenges. And the whole foundation of the treatment starts with, you can get better.
Right.
Right. Because it's just at every stage, there's never, and that's again, an evidence-based thing. There's no point. You can change your body until your last breath. There's neuroplasticity. That's a science thing. We know that, but it's, I think the first piece in some people's journey is to recognize where they're at and believe that they can get better. Because I see a lot of people come in clinic and they'll be like, I'm too stiff, I'm too fat, I'm too tired, I'm too weak, I'm too this. And it's like, whoa. Let's see where we're starting. And then like, where can we push the ball forward? Even if it's just one step, even if it's just today, one little thing that you can wrap your arms around.
And sometimes it's just the belief or the education, like you base your beliefs off of your current state, but you don't realize that there's more to learn about how you can make changes with your body, right? Like it's then when you get educated and you have the knowledge of like, okay, what is that first step I can take, then you believe that, oh, this pain doesn't have to last. Like that's actually that would impact someone who's literally has been in their life of like, I've been in pain for how long, and now I'm working towards not having pain. Like what a life-changing moment for them, right? And like it's must be so rewarding to see like that change. And like, what do you feel like is the most helpful piece of like education as someone who's like coming to you with like that, I will always have pain, or this is kind of where I'm at. Like, what is that first piece of, like, here's something we can teach you, or here's that first step? Like, what are those first steps that you walk them through?
I think it's that's a great question. I think the first step is really hearing where people are at, you know, and because it's different for each person that comes through the door, whatever that first step might be. Right. It might be just education and knowledge about like what entirely is happening. People get also, you know, some misinformation. You know, I have had a lot, like, and maybe it's how it's interpreted and how they're understanding the information. But like, for example, I saw someone who, well, and it's happened more than once, where people come in and they're like, oh, my doctor said I should stop going to the gym and not do any exercise based on my MRI results. Whoa. And I'm looking at the date, like I'm looking at the imaging result. And then you're looking at someone who's like doing laundry, carrying groceries, you know, running around, doing all the things. Of course, movement is appropriate for that person.
Yeah.
You know, you could get into the whole piece of like, there's very poor correlation between imaging results and actual function. Like, that does not dictate your function.
Right.
You have the power to do something about it.
Wow.
And so sometimes it's like, it's educating on that piece. I have actually, but then there's other people who actually need to just more tune into their bodies.
Right.
Like, I've had people on the reformer where I'm like, just get your knees totally straight.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay. And I'm like, totally straight, like all the way. And they're like, okay. And they're like not going there. And I'm like
straighten them out.
All straighten them out. And they're like, I am straight. And I have to take a picture and show them like, you've got like a 30-degree bend in your knee. Wow. And they're like, what?
Yeah.
So sometimes that person needs to tune in. So that is kind of I think recognizing like what is the obstacle is like the first step. Like, maybe you are completely overwhelmed, right? Maybe like, what is the obstacle? Is it pain? Is it time? Are you in like an emotional burnout, and every piece of sensory stimulus is like, it feels like you're listening to rock music and you're trying to concentrate on something? Maybe it's like the lights need to be dimmed. Maybe it's we're taking a breath. That's the exercise today.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I think it's like developing insight for yourself. Like, what are the things that make me not feel good, and what are the things that make me feel good? What am I feeling right now? Instead of like feel like pushing back against that, like I have to have all the things figured out.
Yeah.
Like, and reaching out when you need help. So that would be the first step. Like, maybe for someone it's like, I know exactly what my challenges are. I know my exercise that I have to do, or I know, you know, I want to do strength training.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't know where to start.
Yeah.
So like accessing like a trainer, or, you know, it's this elbow tendonitis that I have that's stopping my barrier. Don't wait 2 years or 6 months. Go see somebody about that.
Yeah.
Right?
As soon as you have something come up for you, like, there's someone that can help you with that.
Yeah.
Right?
Address the barriers.
Yeah.
But first, I think there's the step before that is like identifying what am I feeling?
Yeah.
Like, what are my challenges?
Yeah. And I think,
and being curious about that.
Totally. Right. And what comes to my mind is like, sometimes we think we know what the barrier is too, until we explore it with someone else, and someone else kind of has another perspective on it. And then then it's like, oh, okay, I see that. Yes, this is like the thing that you think is, like, I mean, you probably have better examples, but like, someone comes in with this pain, say in their lower back, and they're like, oh, it's my lower back, and this is the issue.
Yes.
But then you explore more, and they're doing something like in their day-to-day life. Like, is there a specific example that comes to your mind that like someone came in with like this issue and then it was actually like something that they needed to focus on here?
Yes, that happens all the time.
Yeah.
That is literally that. You know, that's the one thing that I'm finding more in private practice. I still am in private practice 2 days a week. Yeah. The other days are in community. And people will come in and, let's say you're having an issue with your neck, let's say up here, right?
Yeah.
80% of the time there's something there, but it's because there's something going on in your thoracic spine.
Yeah.
Like the body is all connected. And it's very interesting, especially when I work with people on the reformer. For example, yesterday, so I had a lady doing something and we're focused on the breath.
Yeah.
Or I'm monitoring. That's one of the things I'm monitoring. So, and she's got chronic back pain, and working very hard and doing amazing. But she was doing a new exercise and having a lot, as she said, every time I lift my arm up, it hurts down in my back. And I said, try it with a breath. Try it. You were holding your breath there. Yeah. Try it with breathing. And she's like, it didn't hurt that time. Right. So you think it's like lifting the shoulder, but it's actually the breath, which is kind of like what I find now more so in private practice. People are coming in with like, I have this thing and I've been trying all these videos that I saw on social media.
Yeah.
I had one lady come in and she was like almost in tears and she was overwhelmed. And she said, like, I'm doing all the things in this hip pain. And, it's like, if you have pain here, do these 5 exercises and it'll totally go away.
Yeah.
Well, there's a thing called differential diagnosis, right? Like there could be different things providing that signal of pain in that area. Yeah. And she was doing like over an hour of exercise every single day. And it was like totally all flared up. I'm like, okay, so let's peel that back. So people are trying, some people are having that curious moment. But there's a lot of data out there, which is why, take the time to find somebody who has cultivated, a special, knowledge base on that can help you sort all that out. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's important to like, it's good to have that curiosity to say like, oh, what could help me? But yeah, if you're trying these things and it's not improving and you're still facing that, it's like, there's your sign to go find someone to help you, because it's like I guess it's dependent on person to person too, in terms of like where their success comes in terms of progress and getting better. But like, I'm curious about the moment they realize things are changing, like, is there that conversation where they're like, I didn't think this was possible? And like, what kind of changes do you see, not just in their body, but in their life?
That is one of the things how we monitor progress. So, from a clinical perspective, we would always not only range emotion, but it's got to have a functional focus. And so it will always be looped back to, I can walk farther. I can climb the stairs. It was really, and it happens at every stage. And it's just that some stages and some challenges take more time, but sure. I just had like such a great story, where in April I ran like a 4-week, strength and balance training. So it was a group of seniors. And again, I'm telling people, evidence tells us the people who do the best with this type of program are people over 80 and who have had a fall. Yeah. Those are exactly the people who say it's too late for me. I'm falling. I can't do it. So it was a lot of encouragement, and just went over some exercises, and over 4 weeks, we fine-tuned and troubleshooted for this group. Yeah. And, at the end of 4 weeks, they're still like, I'm still whatever, like they're still having challenges. And I'm like, keep going. It's consistent. It's a real turtle in a hare story. Yeah. Just keep going. Yeah. It will get better. Yeah. And it was really cute because in June, beginning of June, and they came independently of each other. And they would pop into my office, and they would in my office area, and they were like, look, Nicole, look, I can stand on this leg. And then another one would come and say, see it. Look, the squats don't hurt my knees anymore.
Oh my goodness.
Right?
That's amazing.
Right?
Oh,
Because
wow.
it gives people hope. So it's
Yeah.
like there's the feeling better part, there's
Mhm.
the functional impact part, and then there's the hope and belief that you
Yeah.
can wrap your arms around your scenario and push that ball towards the goal.
Yeah.
You know, some days you can't tell. I tell people all the time, like, you can't see it sometimes because you're stuck with yourself
Yeah.
24/7.
Right?
But when I see them like once a week or once a month or whatever it is, I can see the progress, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you need somebody, like, that's why sometimes it's good to have a coach.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's good to have somebody on your team who can look at things in an objective way
Totally. Yeah.
and kind of help you see that the goalposts are moving forward.
Yeah.
Right?
And where the area of opportunity it truly is. And like, because someone will see like the area of opportunity being very vast and being like, I just need to like fix this pain. I just need to like get rid of the pain or whatever it is. It's like, okay, but like that's the goal for sure. Like, but how do we get there slowly so that it actually we get there and you can stay there, right?
And slow is okay.
Yeah,
You know,
totally.
and that I think that's another thing that we need to be okay with, like, or to, I guess, come to terms with.
Right.
I remember being, you know, in my teens or whatever, and it's like, oh, I have a thing in 2 weeks. I got to get myself all tuned up, whatever.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, now it's like, okay, well, what's my goal for like next year?
Right. Yeah.
And that's okay, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
can be a turtle.
Yeah.
You still get there.
Yeah. Like
Right?
turtling is great.
Turtling is great.
And like especially when there's so much going on in life, like everyone has I feel like these days especially like there's just always so much going on that it's just like yeah, how do you manage everything with a busy schedule and you have these issues and like how do you encourage someone when they have a busy schedule and they know that they need to add movement but they're just feeling that stuckness like how do you when they come to you that's already like a light that they're like okay
Yeah.
I'm interested, right? But like
Yeah.
if they still have that resistance like how what's that one thing that helps you kind of ease that resistance for them?
Yeah. I'm going to say from a physio perspective, that is the engagement piece that's the gold, right?
Yeah.
So you can do your hands-on treatment or whatever, but it's really what happens in between the sessions that can have a huge impact.
Yeah.
And I think it's making sure that whatever the plan is aligned with that person.
Yeah.
So someone who has like a ton of time, I don't know who has a ton of time these days.
Yeah.
Or like maybe a ton of energy or has like a really strong pull, a big goal, like
Yeah.
you know, the strategy will be different. And then you have the people who are like, you know, I don't think I'm going to have time for more than one exercise. I actually had one lady come in and she was like, I am not going to do any exercises. Never have, never will. I hate exercising and I'm not going to do it.
Okay.
So I was like, okay. And then we talked about the intention, right?
Yeah.
Because intention shapes impact. So if you're looking for an outcome, you're going to have to do something.
Yeah.
So we talked to her, but we had to make it so she had one that she did in bed before she got out of bed.
Amazing.
And I put it on a separate page.
Yeah.
I actually got her to do 3.
Wow, she came far then.
She came far.
Yeah.
She came far.
Yeah.
She had one that she did when she was brushing her teeth. Like
Cool.
that's the deal we made.
Yeah.
And then she had one that she did at the kitchen counter when the kettle was boiling.
Okay. Yes.
And she did amazing. And we actually could build her program from there. But when it's aligned, I think with where people are at and people, then people can be consistent. Then we can have the sustainability and the impact, right? And I think when people have the right intentional movement, and then they see the progress, it's like, I actually feel better when I do it.
Yeah.
And again, then that's like that tuning in piece.
Right.
Then they can have an easier time engaging in it.
Yeah.
Right. I love James Clear.
I was
like
just gonna
Atomic
say,
Habits.
like the habit stacking. I'm just already hearing like when the kettle's boiling, like, and that's really like the alignment is like, okay, what are you currently doing day to day?
Exactly.
And where's the little piece that you can add, right?
How
like,
can you weave it in there in a way that is not going to send your nervous system
out of whack,
into overload?
Yeah.
Into overload, and then you're overwhelmed, and then you do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh man, that's I think where people get caught up in, I have to do it a certain way, and it has to be like this other thing that I throw into the mix, and then you like, if I'm starting something new and I overthink it too much because it's like, okay, I have to set aside like a whole other time in my day to do this thing. It's like, oh, I'm already going to be doing this, and there's time for me to spend like 5 minutes while that thing's happening. It's so much easier to apply it.
Right.
Versus like, okay, I have to go spend an hour in the gym and that's going to help my body. It's like, okay, sure, that could be an option, but is that realistic for you? Exactly. Like, that has to be applicable too, right? Like, and there's
so many different, like, if you look at even like walking, right?
Yeah. Like,
are you doing zone 2 for an hour? Are you doing like the intermittent 9 minutes of walking and 1 minute of speed walking? Right. Like, there's so much information out there depending on the stage and the goal that you have and the challenges that you're having. So part of my thinking is when we're talking about like what's realistic for you. It's also, in my mind, being super efficient with your time to be effective. So maybe an hour at the gym to do strength training is not going to work for you, but you could have massive impact on your body with 3 20-minute strength training sessions a week.
Totally.
But, to try to dig through all of that, like, I think that's where, for me personally, I would reach out to a professional. I've got, these are my challenges. This is where I'm at with my life. This is my goal. How do I get there? I might not get there in 2 weeks with the schedule that I have. It might take me 2 years.
Right.
And that might be okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what's realistic for that person.
Exactly.
And that
because
right?
Every time you like overload, and I do it myself, like that, I'm working on like trimming the to-do list, right? Yeah. But it's like every time and then you can't meet the goal, then you beat yourself up, and then it's tougher to get into it at another time.
Yeah.
So just like make it so it's not overwhelming. Make it aligned with your current situation. Just keep pushing that ball forward. Yeah. Just to feel good.
Yeah. And find the help that can help you organize what actually looks like it can fit for you, right? Like you said, having a coach, having a physiotherapist, having someone who's like able to observe you and what you're going through and what your goals are to help you make a plan that actually makes sense for you, right? Like it really is super powerful to ask for that help, to seek it out, and to, so if someone was to say like they're in a state where they're like, I feel like I need help, but I don't even know where to look, or I'm scared to reach out for help because I'm scared of what the plan's going to look like what would you say to them?
I think it's might be a little, I'm going to say just kind of go out there and try, but keep an open mind. So maybe, it's not the first person that you connect with that's going to be that right fit.
Totally.
So it's being curious, being open, and keep exploring. So that if you're going out there and you're trying something, or I'm going to try connecting with someone for mental health supports, and it's not the right person for you, it's okay. Like, you just try again. Yeah. Right. You just try to find that next opportunity. I think it's just, and as you get older, I don't know, as you move through the stages. Yeah. you're I guess my challenge or my invitation to people is to keep exploring about their own body, and it's changing all the time. So sometimes it's like being in tune with where you are at, and being open to the resources out there, but just being really listening to yourself. Like, is that a good fit?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a little bit daunting, like you don't want to think that you have to do it all on your own. And if you're really like overwhelmed, just one thing that you can wrap your mind around or wrap your arms around. And then, and just don't, I think people are really hard on themselves.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very much so like, oh, you have to, it's that perfection. Like it needs to be perfect, or it needs to look a certain way for it to work, or for it to happen. But it's not the case. And the amount of people I've leaned on or switched my leaning on, like, okay, that this season of life, that person really helped me, or this season of life, that person helped me. And I think, like you say, tuning into where you're at is so helpful in really determining, okay, and in this season, that person I tried to work, or I tried to see if they could help me, and it wasn't a great fit. It doesn't mean that you're not able to work on that thing. It doesn't mean that that's not, that you're broken and you can't fix it, or however you want to say it. But it just means that there's more exploration to be had, right?
I think it's just avoiding like the cynicism. I tried, it didn't work.
It's common, right?
Right?
So common. And you're just like, no, there's more out there. There's so many people out there, like you talked about the social media side of things, like so much information out there, but like there's so many professionals that can help you specifically in the moment that you're at. And like, I mean, if anyone's in Chilliwack area, like, please go to Rebalance Rehab, because there's an opportunity for you to start to work on these things that you're facing, like, and having the hope and desire already as the spark that you can have to make that change. And when you go to see someone like Nicole, it's like, okay, this is that first step, and we're going to align with the things that we need to align with. And it's not about, it has to be fixed right now. It's like, how does this make sense? Yes. What's the plan that makes sense? And go from there.
Yeah. I just think even from like this is a parallel scenario, but from like a business coaching perspective, like I've had a business coach the whole time, and I've had different business coaches, because as things evolved, then I needed different resources.
Totally. Yeah.
It's like, why don't we think about it in the same way for ourselves, like for our body?
Yeah, exactly. And like, even with clients of mine, I've had clients who've gone to other coaches before me, and then they come to me, and they're like, my mind's like, I focus on a lot of mindset work, and other coaches are really good at, say, like, really helping someone accelerate their weight loss, and like pair those two things together. If like whatever you want for you, like, it's possible. And it doesn't have to be this one person. Sometimes we expect, like, okay, I invested this time and energy and money into this one coach, and that should solve everything. It's like, well, have the expectation to say, like, I might have like one piece of that puzzle that I'm working on, that there's other pieces of the puzzle that are out there, and I don't know that are even existing until I focus on that one puzzle piece, and then I move on to the next one, right?
Yeah.
And like,
I think the foundation of it is having that tuning into your body, knowing that there's something that you want to work on.
Yeah.
And just being open to, different strategies. But it's like that lady who came in and had been doing over an hour of like YouTube videos that were completely inappropriate for her problem, and coming in and just like, and she'd been doing it, and I was like, how long have you been doing this?
Oh no.
Poor lady. And it had been a long time. So it's, again, the insight, like, okay, well, maybe this isn't working for me. Let's be curious about something else, and not think of it as, it's just like avoiding that losing hope. Losing hope either in your own body, or losing hope in the the tools that are available to you,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
just like keep looking. Keep
Amazing.
looking. Yeah.
I love that. Cool. Is there anything that you would want to share as like a last key takeaway for someone to take away from this if they were to like in a situation where they needed help or just in general?
I just think the key takeaway is that, and I think this is common knowledge now. There was a time way back in the day that I would have to explain to people that movement is a good thing.
Yeah.
There was a time where people would literally tell me it's going to wear out my joints. I don't want to use them too much,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But quality movement is the key to longevity and good living. So, and you can change your situation.
Yeah.
Some of the people that I've had, just recent people that come to mind are some of the people I've had some amazing aha moments with are those people who have had chronic pain for a really long time. They're so tuned in to all the pain. And it's really like if you just we when we provide education, we calm things down the nervous system. Yeah. We introduce the breath with movement. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like there's everyone can be better.
Yeah. And it just has to be simple movement. It doesn't have to be complex all the time.
Yeah, it can just start with something small. But again, it's like the intention piece. Mm-hmm. Intention has impact. So I have had people come in and they really resist any kind of anything that is force, right? So they get overwhelmed with like if it's too heavy, too much weight. And then I just had one lady was saying, I feel like, I'm not getting stronger. Right? Then we had to kind of take it back to, we just need to like feel good about pushing a little bit harder because the body responds very specifically to the stimulation that you provide it.
Right. So
I guess the key takeaway is quality movement, whatever that means for your body in that moment. Is the key to longevity and feeling great and doing the things that you love to do. And it's possible to improve.
Yeah. Possible to improve and possible to just live that life that you're thinking or dreaming of, right? Like that's a possibility at any stage of life.
Exactly. So. Never give up hope.
Oh, I love that.
Absolutely.
What a great way to just cap things off. Like
never give
there
up.
It is. There it is.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Nicole, for being here today
and
sharing everything. I mean, we could probably go on and on about more. So like maybe there's another opportunity to talk a little bit more. But really appreciate you sharing your knowledge. There's so much of it. So thanks so much for coming.
Well, thanks for having me on. It was fun.
Yeah. So, great.
Thanks.
Okay. Awesome.